Here's Johnny. Terrible impression. So after I watched Doctor Sleep, I went immediately to Walmart where I was shooting my reaction video, which is on my second channel, and I had this really stupid idea that felt necessary at the time, and here it is. Enjoy.
Come and play with us.
It's been nearly 40 years since the original Shining film directed by Stanley Kubrick came out, and now we have the sequel, Doctor Sleep. I'm not gonna hurt ya. I'm just gonna review the movie. I'm going to start with the terrible Jack Nicholson impressions. The film Doctor Sleep stars Ewan McGregor as adult Danny Torrance. And in Doctor Sleep, we catch up with Danny as an adult. He's homeless, he's an alcoholic, and he's really screwed up from the events that happened to him as a small kid, and you can't blame the guy. If my dad tried to kill my entire family with an axe, well, I'd be fucked up too. Actually, that explains a lot. He then encounters a young girl that has similar superpowers as him, known as the Shine. And also in the film, you have a supernatural gypsy-like cult who are tracking down children with this power so they can murder them and take it from them. And we'll talk all about that in just 1 second. Now the biggest question is, do you need to see the film The Shining before watching the sequel Doctor Sleep? I would say you don't have to, because the film Doctor Sleep gives you enough backstory throughout this film with a lot of flashbacks, but I will say this, everything that happens in Doctor Sleep will have way more impact if you're familiar with the film The Shining. Throughout the film Doctor Sleep, you get flashbacks to the original time period that The Shining took place in, and it picks up on the events after the Overlook Hotel. And for these flashback sequences, they cast actors who look identical to their counterparts in the original film. You have Shelley Duvall's character who played the mother of young Danny, and they cast an actress who looked pretty similar. They even do little things with her hairdo, and they made her ears pop out more like Shelley Duvall's. And then later on in the film, they recast another character from the original Shining film to be in this movie. And that was a little too distracting for me. I kept thinking, we have all this technology, why didn't they just redigitize their face ever so slightly to look identical to these original characters that they're portraying? But maybe that would have been even more distracting with the Uncanny Valley effect. All I'm saying is, if it looked better than what we got with Jeff Bridges' face in Tron Legacy, I think that would have been okay. Oh my god, look at that thing. Now let's talk about Ewan McGregor as adult Dan Torrance in this film. And I think that was perfect casting because he even has little similarities to Jack Nicholson. It definitely looks like his kid in this movie, and I really like that. And also, as far as Danny goes, and Ewan McGregor's performance as Danny, he's not this loud, over-the-top character. He's sort of subtle and a little bit subdued at times, and I bought into that. And I bought into this being a guy who's been tormented by the events of his past, and now he's an alcoholic. And the earliest scene in this film, you see him and he's sleeping with some chick and he's all doped up on coke and he tries to steal her money, and I sort of like that he was a flawed character. It's always much more interesting in a film when the character is flawed or has issues, and this guy definitely has some issues. But then again, I think we all would, once again, if your father tried to kill you with an axe. So as far as Ewan McGregor's performance in this film goes, I think it was the best thing throughout the entire film. And his character, Danny, befriends a young girl whose name is Abra, who also shares these same powers and abilities. And throughout this film, her character has a major role, and I really enjoyed her character by the second half of the movie. But she is essentially a young Charles Xavier. Yeah, that's sort of my biggest issue with this film, because in the original Shining, the character of Danny just had these premonitions. He wasn't a superpowered X-Men mutant. I don't know, it sort of took me out of the film at times, and it didn't seem completely necessary at times to carry the plot along to have all these advanced powers. I felt like there was another way to do everything that was more subtle and keep the tone that made the original Shining so great. Now let's get dark and creepy and talk about the antagonists of this film, who are a cult-like group of vampires who seek out children to take their powers and suck their souls. And saying that sort of reminds me of the witches from Hocus Pocus. Come, little children, and I will take thee away into a something something. I love Hocus Pocus. But yeah, the gypsy cult-like gang in this group are very similar. The leader of this group is a character called Rose the Hat, played by Rebecca Ferguson. For the most part, I thought they were great villains throughout this film. They were evil and demented, and there's a few scenes in this film where they do terrible, unspeakable things. And I appreciated that, because this film is rated R. It utilizes that rating, and I give Mike Flanagan a round of applause because he's not afraid to put bad, scary, disgusting things into a screenplay like most people are nowadays, and he just went for it, and it's unsettling and it's terrifying, and I really enjoyed a few scenes in this film where bad things happen, and it made me feel something. Now, speaking of Mike Flanagan, who's the director and screenwriter of this film, I thought he did a pretty good job overall with Dr. Sleep. But as far as atmosphere and visuals go, it doesn't even compare to what Kubrick did with The Shining. And don't get me wrong, throughout the film Dr. Sleep, there's some very captivating scenes throughout the film that I really enjoyed. But I don't really feel like there was any scene in particular that's going to transcend time. Like, you had a handful of sequences in the original film, The Shining, that did that and are still memorable to this day. Some of the lines that Jack Nicholson gives, just the scene, the tracking shot with young Danny on his tricycle going through the hallway with the twins. And very quickly, speaking of scenes throughout this film, there's one action sequence that happens halfway through this film, and it feels very tacked into the movie, and it's really set up awkwardly because you have one supporting character and he gives this long expositional dialogue about a hunting story that helps set up what they're going to do, and it just feels so out of place. It's sort of like asking someone a question like, hey, can you bring that box over here? And I bring the box to you, and then I just start daydreaming about a story of, yes, years ago I had a box and I carried it into a room. I dropped the box on my toe. I looked down on my toe and I saw it pulsating. Then I grabbed a Band-Aid, and ever since that day, I never carried a box again. It's sort of like that. I hope you understand what I'm talking about, or do I just sound utterly insane right now? But yeah, this entire sequence just feels out of place, and the build-up to it just feels so forced. Now, very quickly, I have a few more things to say about the ending to this movie before I give you my grade to this movie. The third act of this film is complete fan service, and I really enjoyed it. The climax of this movie revisits old territory, and if you read the original novel of The Shining, I think you'll really enjoy the ending to this movie. Now, here are my final flicking thoughts on the film Dr. Sleep. As far as this film goes as a sequel, I think it's a sufficient sequel. I think if you wanted to know what adult Danny Torrance was doing with his life, you catch up with him, and it's a compelling story for the most part. It's entertaining. I enjoyed the acting. I liked most of the characters in this film, and I enjoyed the journey that they go on for the most part. And very quickly, before I give you my grade on the film Dr. Sleep, I wanted to let you know that this video is brought to you by Family Video. It's one of my favorite, most magical and mystical places to go rent movies. But you don't have to go there to rent movies. You can actually buy movies at Family Video. And the best thing is you can buy movies online at familyvideo.com. If you're like me and you like buying movies and collecting movies like this right here, which, by the way, I need to upgrade this to 4K. If you want to pick up brand new or used Blu-rays, DVDs, and 4K movies, definitely go to familyvideo.com. I'll put the link down below. So if you want to save up to 80% on some awesome movies to add to your movie collection, definitely check out familyvideo.com, and their Black Friday sale starts 11/24, November 24th, where you can save a whole bunch of money on awesome titles. I'll put the link down below. Definitely check them out around Black Friday time, and they have free shipping until December 4th. So yeah, save money, awesome movies, 4K, that's my motto. I want more 4K movies. And since I like you guys maybe a little bit too much, don't get scared now. If you guys want to win a free $25 gift card to use at familyvideo.com to buy some movies this Black Friday, or buy them today, I don't care what you do. Just leave a comment down below and like this video, and I'll pick somebody at random for a free $25 gift card to Family Video, where you can use it online or at a store if you want to. So big thanks to Family Video, my favorite place on earth, and definitely check out the website down below now, or wait until Black Friday for even better deals. I'm going to give Dr. Sleep a B-. It's an entertaining movie. It's a well-done movie for the most part. I just feel like it doesn't really compare to The Shining as much as I wanted it to. I wanted to love this movie more than I did, and I still really enjoyed the film. I would buy it on Blu-ray and rewatch it again down the road, but I just felt like there was definitely room for improvement. I would say the first half is a bit clunky, and then the second half of the movie really saves it. But for me, I just wanted a bit more of that psychological approach that you had in the original Shining in this film. So those are my thoughts on the movie. Now here's my question for you, and let me know down below, what did you think about the film Dr. Sleep? Or what is your favorite psychological thriller of all time? Or if you're bored and have nothing better to do with your life, like me, you can watch this video right here, or this video right here, and make sure you subscribe, hit that stupid bell notification because YouTube hates everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.